I'm going to begin the board. It now being 2 o'clock, I will call the March 10th, 2025 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded for cablecast and YouTube presentation by Area 58 Community Access Media. The video of this meeting is not to be considered an official public record. The approved minutes of the meeting will serve as the official record of the proceedings. So our first agenda, I'm gonna change just the order a little bit until Jared shows up, and then we'll jump in it. So we may hold you off if you got time, Alan.
Yeah, I can wait.
Okay. Let's see, why don't we start with the announcement of votes taken?
Yeah, I can get that out of the way.
You want to do that, or shall I? I think I've got it.
Do you have it on? Yes, right there.
So the board met in, I did. Board met in executive session on March 3rd, 2025, under Purpose 2, and during said executive session, the board voted 3-0 to approve an employment agreement for Lisa Hart as town accountant with an appointment term of 1 year from May 28th, 2025 to May 28th, 2026. It also voted 3-0 to approve an employment agreement for Daniel Hoffman as police lieutenant with an appointment term of 1 year from May 9th, 2025 through May 9th, 2026. So that's our votes taken.
And I have the appointments that you decided.
Okay?
Do you want to skip ahead to the other appointment on the agenda?
Yes, we have an appointment to appoint Mark Impoliti, is that how I'm saying it?
Yes.
As alternate plumbing and gas inspector effective March 10th, 2025 through June 30th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you.
Bree, if
Jared, thank you for coming.
you take a photo, can you text it to me?
I'm sorry, what?
I was talking to Bree. I asked her to take a photo.
So we're going to go with the presentation from the Plymouth County Commissioners. Happy to see you here.
Happy to be here. Are
Happy-
we here, or do you want us to come?
Why don't you
We had checked
Come
some
on.
and
come on up a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah.
Should we get down and go down there?
Yeah, that'll make it easy if we come down too.
Well, we can do it, say a quick few things.
Can you take a picture, Bree?
Signed appointments.
Yeah, Bree, take a picture.
Sure. See you again, sorry. I literally got stuck behind a tractor. So that's the real one. Hey, Carver into Plympton, so you know you're in the good part of the county. Thank you. So, yeah, we're just happy to be here with $95,000. Treasurer O'Brien and Commissioner Hanley regretfully can't make it today, but we really appreciate the partnership with Liz and the entire team you guys have here in Town Hall. I think one of the things that we prided ourselves on, first with CARES and now with ARPA, is that no matter the size of the community, we were giving you all the same level of attention, whether it was Brockton or Plympton or the other 25 in between. We made sure that every town got their fair share, and we're really proud of the partnership that we've been able to have with the town of Plympton. It's always a privilege to be here. Representative Lenatra and Senator Fernandez also are trying to be here. I think they both had committee hearings, but they're certainly, they've been good partners. I know Senator Fernandez is new, but he's certainly been a good partner, and Representative Lenatra is always an advocate, strong fan of the town of Plympton, so we're happy to be working with them.
Been very helpful to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Commissioner Wright probably just has some statistics she'd like to share with you folks, and with those watching at home, and then happy to present the very well-traveled large check, which I don't know if I've told the story yet, but the crease down the middle was a particularly windy night in Hull, much like the wind we've been experiencing.
I
know. And it just found its way out of my hand and almost landed in Nantasket Beach, so. I saved it, but obviously it took a little damage before.
So I just want to say one of the most significant significant things that we've done is undertaking the CARES Act and the ARPA funds, and obviously to give twice as much money back to you and only administering it at less than 1.5%, giving you more money or leaving more money on the table. Excuse me, I've got a laryngitis here. We greatly appreciate everything that you have done with us and worked with us. I know it was something new that we've never experienced before, and it was just a big learning curve for everybody. So we greatly appreciate, you working with us, and, it's been a great team to work with, and we thank you again for, being on our advisory board meeting. That does mean a lot to us, and I did have some numbers today. I'd like to say the amount of money that we gave you for CARES was $512,419.93. And for the ARPA funds, we gave $534,707.70, just over a little bit of $1 million that we've given for both of those programs. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate all you've done.
We have new water wells going in that you
Very
are
nice.
helping us with,
This
so
is
that's,
three checks that, yeah.
so that's perfect.
Excellent.
All right, so for that, if you don't mind, on mine as well.
Sure,
Thank
no
you.
problem at all.
As I equip people with all the pictures and the big check, I remind them that our records date back to the Pilgrims, right? So Commissioner Wright and I need to do something to prove that we were
So
here.
come on in with us.
Yeah, we can blank it there.
Okay.
You're like the best thing we do.
Us too, believe me.
That's not how you spell my name, though.
Right. It's dry erase, so sometimes when my friends are going to Vegas, I'll write this out for them as a joke. See a big number on a check. Thank you.
Thank you, we
Thank you.
appreciate
Have we done
it.
anything with the?
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to see you.
Yes. Sorry, I was
Thank
late.
you. Nice to see you again.
Take care.
Hey, our best to Tom.
Yes.
I've known Tom for
Oh, of
40
course,
years.
yeah, he was your rep for a while too, right?
We give him so many other things to do.
Well, that's just it. He's tethered to his desk writing more checks and you get to go out and present them. That's what we,
Oh, good.
that's how we work so well at that together.
Keep writing the check.
Most fun we
One turn.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you all very much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice to meet you.
Thanks, nice meeting you.
Do we need a big deposit slip to go for the bigness of the check?
Yeah, it's not very ceremonious, it's just a standard turnover form.
Okay, so we will revert back to our agenda and departmental update. Alan Wheelock, Bylaw Review Committee. Great.
Thank you. Can I give them each one of these?
Oh, sure.
And you too.
Thank you.
One of our founding members is here with me today, Dave Alberti.
No will.
And with Bylaw Review Committee since it started.
Thank you.
Okay. Believe it or not, this is the Bylaw Review Committee just entered its 9th year of existence. So I think most people know it was created by the Board of Selectmen in 2017. It recruited the original members in the 4th quarter of 2016, and then it actually kicked off in January of 2017. So on your agenda here, you can see that this is the current members of the Bylaw Review Committee. Dave Alberti, who's here with me today. Deborah Anderson, our kinsman, Mike Lee, Kevin Rafferty, Ann Sobolewski, and me. And I think one of the things that's important to know about Bylaw Review is since its inception, the committee has been able to attract and retain really high-quality members. I mean, we're very fortunate to have some of the people who are currently serving in this committee and who have served previously. They come from all different types of professions, and everybody brings a different strength to the committee. But I think being a person who serves on many committees. I think bylaw review is very fortunate to have the membership that we do. So we meet the first and third Thursday of each month. And since 2017, so that's a fairly heavy schedule to ask residents who are volunteering their time to come in twice a month, and the meetings can last anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And we do take the summers off because I thought it was important for the committee members to have some time to themselves. But in general, we meet year-round, and since 2017, that committee has had only 3 instances of lack of quorum. When you think about that, large committee meets twice a month, 3 times in almost 10 years, we had lack of quorum. So again, I think it's just indicative of the commitment that the folks have to bylaw review. And the purpose of the committee is just to help Plympton maintain high-quality, up-to-date bylaws. We learned way back when, and I think this is part of the reason the Board of Selectmen created this committee, is if a town or city has bylaws that are, for example, inconsistent, that can become a real leverage point for people who might be in litigation with a town. Attorneys will look for things like, oh, in your bylaw it says A here and it says B there, and you're holding us to the letter of A, but you've got inconsistencies with B, so what's the story? So we think that all the work that we've done to update it, make sure it's in alignment with state law, and make sure that the oldest parts of our bylaws have all been thoroughly updated. We think there's just innumerable benefits to the town for doing that, including protection from litigation, frankly. We've submitted over 30 warrant articles since we started, and I don't recall a single instance of us not receiving the approval of town meeting for 30 warrant articles, so that's pretty good. Some of the things that we've worked on, I've listed here. Groundwater protection we completed last year. We think that is absolutely crucial in a town that has no town water and no town sewer. You have to have bylaws that protect the groundwater under our feet. As I have said at some meetings that the public is in attendance to, think about what it would be like to have a home in town, many of which are worth between $700,000 and $1 million, and having the value of that home drop to 0 overnight, because that's what would happen if the groundwater became polluted. In a subcommittee of open space, which I also serve on, has invested time in investigating on behalf of Plympton, what would it cost to have a town water system? The last number that I heard, and this was probably 3 years ago, it was over $40 million. So we all know that's never going to happen. So we were very pleased to be able to get the groundwater protection update done last year and approved by town meeting. Earth removal is an example of where the town had very little in the way of guidelines or regulations as it pertains to earth and sand and gravel removal. We got that in place about 4 years ago. We completely updated the schedule of uses, and when you're talking to residents about, you know, what is, quote, allowed and what's not allowed in Plympton, one of the things that I think is smart to do is direct them to the schedule of uses, first of all. Because basically what that schedule is that's a list of everything that's allowed to be built, or every type of land use that's allowed in the town of Plympton. If it's not on the list, you're not allowed to do it. It's as simple as that. That's state law that backs that up, by the way. One of the things about the committees that I think is really good as well, is it's a forward-looking committee. And thanks particularly to one of our members who's an attorney, Ann Sobolewski, we created an ADU, accessory dwelling unit bylaw, 4 years ago and put that into place. I think it's a good one. I think it's well-written, and it's thorough and comprehensive, and it encourages people. You know, it's becoming an expensive town to live in. It encourages people to look at ADUs as a possible way for some residents to stay in their own property, not have to sell and move. And we did that 4 years ago, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts just caught up to us. They just passed a state law, pretty much telling people all over the state, if you want to have an ADU on your property, you can do so. So this year's town meeting, you'll see us coming around with a couple of warrant articles pertaining to ADUs, and the reason we're doing that is because the state law, there are subtle differences, not a lot, but there's some differences between what we created and what they created. So obviously we want our bylaw to be a mirror of what the state is doing. So that's what that's all about. I think an important thing this committee has accomplished too is we researched and then helped the town clerk digitize the bylaws. Prior to 4 years ago, if you wanted to look up our bylaws, you had to go look it up on paper. That's the only way you could see it. Now, with the help of a company from Western New York called General Code, our bylaws completely digitized, it's searchable. I mean, it's a wonderful tool. There are many towns in Massachusetts that use the same software. And it's quite reasonable. And one of the, again, great values of that product is that software is so strong that if they see a conflict in our language, their system is comparing our language to state law pretty continuously. If they see a conflict, they actually flag it to the town clerk. So we become aware that we may have a vulnerability. And I gave you a few samples of what we call information sheets that the committee created. And the purpose of those is simply to give people a really easy reference if they're embarking on a project like building a house, building a garage, building a barn, putting in a septic system, that type of thing. We created these information sheets so that people could just take the sheet and it will refer them to exactly what they need to look at in the bylaws. So those are there to help the town clerk's office, the building department, anybody else who, interfaces with the public and has to answer questions about zoning, which happens a lot, right?
I send them upstairs, Alan, I send them upstairs.
Yeah, send them upstairs. And the final thing that I just point out is another thing I think the committee has done well is right at the beginning, we created bylaw review committee liaisons. So each person on the committee is assigned to be a liaison to various town departments and other committees. So it's on our schedule on a continuous basis, and if someone's, for example, I forget who's assigned to the town clerk, but if they'll go into the town clerk's office occasionally, just check in with them, say, is there anything that's come up where you think the bylaw review committee could be helpful? So we do that with everybody, police, fire, Board of Health, Conservation Commission, Planning Board, everybody has a liaison. And my liaison is Liz, so I meet with Liz, every 2 months, go through this stuff. Anything you'd like to add, Dave?
No, I do the same as you and the others. I have the zoning board of appeals, which I'm on, so I can interface with them. And building department, I visit them often enough. My finger on the pulse, see what they need, if they'd like to see changed. And that's worked a lot for us.
Yeah. Any questions?
The building department's okay, I mean, with Tom being out quite a bit, you're not having any issues there?
Replacement now. I haven't met the new inspector.
Yeah.
I guess he's full-time now with Kathy up there, right?
Yeah, he's been doing
Yeah,
a good job.
Yeah.
He's around a lot.
yeah. No, I always said, the difference of the bylaw review committee is that if you want to affect what's going to happen over the next 10 years, you're the committee that makes it happen. Where when we look at other committees, it's really very close-in tactical. So it's one of the most important committees we have, if not the most.
I remember the day you created that. I went home and thought about it and called you the next day.
Yeah, well, I was one of...
Yeah, one of many that was put in place, and you were
Yeah.
the person, so.
Yeah, when we've done like presentations on this at the library or what have you, one of the things that we try to dispel with people, because some people think, oh, bylaws, it's people trying to tell me what to do. And I think the best response to that is, zoning bylaws are not designed to be punitive. They really aren't. They're common sense. They're trying to, basically, the thrust of zoning bylaws, whether it's in Plympton or anywhere else, is you're just aiming for the collective good. You're trying to create a structure that everybody can work within. They're not meant to, quote, stop you from doing something that you want to do, but they're also there to protect people from crazy, inappropriate things happening in a residential area next to a house that they poured their heart and soul into. If there were no zoning laws and people could basically, quote, do whatever they wanted, just think of the potential impact on a family to have basically no recourse at all if there were no zoning. So zoning is not punitive, it's not meant to be oppressive, it's simply there for the collective good. It's been good work, I think we all enjoy doing the work, and it's a job that never ends, because every year the state changes the state law, which is the foundation for local bylaws. And you have to keep up with that stuff, and you have to make sure that whatever you've got on the books is up to date and it's in alignment with the overall state law.
So, well, one, congratulations. I think I sat in on many of the meetings the first year or two, and this is clearly one of the highest functioning, if not highest functioning committee in town, and clearly it's a lot of time involved. Great appreciation for that. One question, the information sheets, which I think are really useful, they are upstairs at the building office. Are they anywhere else at this point?
You should be at the town clerk's office, I hope.
I wonder if there's some way, maybe we can help on this, on getting word out that those are available.
Great.
A little bit of a pet peeve of mine is people making the first place they go to social media, which is fine, but not necessarily the horse's mouth as far as giving information. Fine place to go, but your work they should have a chance at. So certainly on the website, maybe.
We would love to see them posted on the website, and I also love to see them on a display, I think, in the library.
I think that's what we can do that.
Library, and probably here as well.
On the bulletin board next
Sure.
to the building department, they
Sure.
have the color slotted folders. And we
Yep.
have half a dozen anyway.
Okay. We'll take it up with the library this Saturday.
That'll be great, because we're going to create one. I'm happy to hear there's increasing activity on accessory dwelling unit projects. So that's a perfect bylaw use or land use for one of these information sheets. We have not created one of those yet, but we will. And, that's the type of situation where someone's thinking of doing that on their property for their mother or their father or somebody else in the family. And instead of posting it on Facebook, they could go to the town clerk's office or the building department, they say, well, here's the guidelines for you right here. So, and we did that not only just to help the public, but we thought it would be helpful for the people who work in this building.
Yeah.
All right, and the one other thing I'd say, I'm going to get on my soapbox for about 45 seconds, but the ADU is such an important thing, and I think that is the way, or in a really important avenue out of the housing crisis, rather than some potentially ill-conceived or poorly conceived legislation. And so I really appreciate you guys working on that. It gets it down to local level, it gets it down to homeowner and family decision, rather than state, rather than town. So I very much appreciate that, and encourage people to look at it and use it.
The other comment I might make is maybe even the post office. I don't know how much space they have, but I think even if you did something where they didn't have the space to do it, if you created a flyer that gave them direction to go to the library, to the townhouse, to wherever else, you know what I mean? And not necessarily all that paperwork, because they're very limited in that space, but I would think you could do that as a, quick thing.
Thank you.
You know, it's a ton of people go there, so
Yeah.
that's for sure.
They sure do. Not the dump, though.
I don't know,
Even though you do
I mean-
see everybody at the dump.
True.
that's the place where business takes place. Actually, I wish there was a way we could do it, but we'd probably end up having them pick them up off the
Exactly.
grounds.
Blow up all over the place, right.
Well, I think you've done great work. I hope it continues, and thank you for all the effort you've put into this.
Appreciate the support.
Thank you
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
very much.
All right. General town meeting preparation update. Are you doing that, Liz?
So we've been moving along with getting articles in for town meeting, and this afternoon I sent around some updated figures and information for people. We should know more in the upcoming, I would say, like maybe 2 weeks or so, but I'm cautiously optimistic that we're going to be able to keep everything to a reasonable level as far as warrant articles and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So at this point, we hope that there'll be no override.
I would be very surprised at this stage if that was something that we needed to consider.
Great.
So, but more to come.
Yes, and we do need to have a discussion, which I think we're putting on, about a debt exclusion for the fire station.
Yeah, so my thought on the timing was that, so Finance is holding a meeting on March 17th at noon time over at the community room in the police department.
We're part of it.
Yes, and somebody will be there, at least one person from Town Properties Committee. And then I would envision this going on to your March 25th agenda
Okay.
for you to decide if you want to vote to put the ballot question on or not.
Good. Okay.
Does that question come down solely to us?
So it requires the selectmen to vote to put it on the ballot. So obviously, if you're putting it on the ballot, conceivably, you'd also be taking a position to put it onto the town meeting warrant.
So, but if for some reason we didn't vote for that, a citizen petition could be put together.
For the warrant, I believe it's only the selectmen can decide to do a ballot question, but I can verify with legal. He was pretty specific that it required a vote of the selectmen for the ballot part.
Okay.
And this does not mean we're approving it, it just means we're allowing the townspeople to have a voice in deciding what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, unless, nope. Certified drinking with Saran, how do I pronounce that correctly?
Sarian.
Sarian, thank you. So we've used them for a while now. You have any?
No, I'm not aware of anything that would make us not want to continue to use them.
I think so far it's gone pretty well because they have the expertise and They keep us honest. So, this is an issue. So I will make a motion to approve an agreement with Syrian Company, Inc. to continue serving as the town's public water supply / certified drinking water operator. Contract to begin on April 1st, 2025, and remain effective until March 31st, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And here we go.
Okay.
I'll make you all sign it, or it's just,
So that takes us down to warrants paid. Bree?
yes, please.
Just sign this.
One, two, five, five.
Yeah.
Okay, so the date.
This is the 11th, right? Or 10th? 10th.
And
And the warrants paid are $29,275.95.
Thank you. You want to do an update?
Sure.
Liz?
So we've been busy working on budget preparations, town meeting preparations, and everything that comes with that. We had 2 gas leaks detected at the old townhouse. So right now, we're waiting, yes. So we're waiting on the plumber. Our plumbing and gas inspector is in the loop, and the fire department has been out there twice today.
Okay.
So right now, where it's shut off, there is no heat or hot water, so the building cannot be used until it's fixed. So
Okay.
Bree's gonna let
So-
Colleen and the building people know, and I let Board of Health know.
Okay. So we're looking for Colleen to reach out to the participants, because they have meditation tomorrow night. Is Colleen?
Yeah, she's taking care of that.
Colleen's here, because I know she was away.
Yeah, I just sent her a message, and having Steve put a note on the door, and I already let Siobhan Green know,
Okay, great.
and I let the
Yogurins?
officer know.
Okay,
He's the one who actually found it.
Hmm.
Called Steve, and Steve.
okay, good.
We have a few different things in correspondence and announcements. So Tara is asking for you to make a decision regarding early vote by mail. This does not affect like absentee voting or anything like that. We do it every year. If you want to opt out of early vote by mail, you need to more or less just say so today, and then we have to set up a quick hearing for you to take that vote. As far as her recommendation, that would be what she was looking for the following reasons: expense reasons, postage of $1.05 per mailed ballot, labels, paper and toner, Board of Registrar hours that have to be quite extensive. And then from a management standpoint, she has to do specialized entries into the state computer, daily printing of reports, and she has concerns about the timing of the post office, whether or not it's reliable. She's nervous about running into a situation where a ballot would be received late. So if you were, so you would still have the absentee ballots, also the uninformed officers and citizens overseas ballots. Does not affect people's ability to vote with respect to that. But if you are inclined to go with her recommendation, which you have done on at least one other occasion in the past, she would just need more or less to know generally where you're leaning, and then we would set up a hearing, because you have to do a public hearing if you're going to vote to opt out, and the hearing has to be prior to April 2nd.
We did this in the past? What was that? I don't remember. We opted
It
out?
would have been when it was just a local election. That's part of her reasoning too, is because it's only a local. And this only applies to early vote by mail. It doesn't like negate any other voting options.
Does it make it harder for people with disabilities to vote?
I don't think so. She didn't indicate that it would. If you wanted, we could set up the hearing, and then she could come in for the hearing and give you a little explanation before you vote. I think that would make sense. But you have to do a hearing if you're
Yeah.
going to consider
I
this.
think we should. I just feel uncomfortable doing away with something that potentially could impact somebody's right to vote.
Yeah, my knee-jerk reaction is that we should have this. On the other hand, for a local election and with the availability of the absentee, I strongly lean toward the town clerk's recommendation, but I agree, I think we probably should have a discussion through the form of a hearing.
I agree. No, I think the public hearing is a good idea.
Okay, all right.
Let's go that way.
Okay, we have,
Did I already have a hearing?
yes. An application from Plympton Pays. They would like to use the town gazebo and the road to Holt Field for baseball opening day, and this will be on April 13th. And they go through all the other channels as well.
We've done that in the past.
Yes, for their parade and opening
I think it's a
day.
great idea. Always fun to watch the kids march down.
So we're going to vote on that?
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
make-
would.
Yeah, so we'll make a motion to approve the application for town use, town green on
April 13th.
April 13th.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You want to be the select person?
Sure.
Just the standard notification from Eversource that we get every year about their vegetation management plan, and this will be in the office if anybody wants to view it. We have an announcement from our town clerk, Tara Shaw. She has been renewed as a certified Massachusetts municipal clerk. So that's great news.
That's good. Kudos.
Yes, definitely. And we also have Old Colony Planning Council. They are still looking for the board to name somebody as a delegate to fill an open seat. I don't know if there are
We're all looking
any.
this way.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect, right there.
So do we want to,
I'd do it if no one else wants to. It probably is a great entree for a new selectman. That look.
I haven't got the time. I got too much going on now.
No, I'll take it on.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Do they do it virtual?
sometimes they do things virtual still.
So that may help.
Right.
Do we need a motion on that, for this, or is?
I guess, maybe it's just better that way, then we can just put that it was voted.
So, can I see, just so I get the terminology right, or you want to
So
make the
it's
motion?
just, sure, so it would be a motion to select Dana Smith to serve as the Plympton Board of Selectmen's representative as our delegate to the Old Colony Planning Council.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That it?
That's it.
So we've done updates, correspondence. On to minutes.
I haven't had a chance to read these. If you give me 2 minutes,
Sure.
I'll read them, and we can get them approved.
Did you approve the minutes that I had done at the last meeting?
From 213, I don't remember.
I don't think so. We voted to hold it off. or-
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, from 213, yes.
Do you want to hold them again? 213?
I don't remember them, quite
No one
frankly.
replied back to anything
Yeah.
from the Jan, they said a couple weeks ago.
I remember reading them. I don't remember seeing anything that jumped out at me, so I'm fine if we approve them.
Okay, I'm all right on those.
Okay, so be approving 224 and 213.
Yes. So, motion to approve the minutes of 213 and 224 as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So the next meetings are, we have one March 25th at 12:45, and that's with the
That's our-
finance.
No, that's our regular meeting.
That's our regular meeting.
Because we couldn't do the
Oh, that's right.
24th.
Okay, and when are we meeting with the?
I haven't posted it yet, but it looks like the 17th at noon.
Well, the finance.
Mm.
Okay. And then we have, our next meeting after that is April 14th.
So, I'm sorry, what was the first one again?
The
March
17th at
25th.
noon,
Is it
12:45.
12:45?
on the
so-
25th.
Yeah.
So let's just go in order. So March 17th at noon at the police station.
Got it.
Then Tuesday, the 25th at 12:45 here.
Okay.
And then April 14th at 2 PM.
When would you like to do that hearing that we have to do the tower?
Probably on the 25th.
Okay.
We should probably do it right at 12:45. So 12:45 on Tuesday, March 25th.
So, advance raves?
Sure. Two. One, the bylaw review committee, and the presentation really said it all. It's a high-level committee
Yeah.
for any town of any size to have that kind of quality work done. It's really, really great. So that's one. Second one is this time of year when there's still just a little bit of snow deep in the woods on our preserved land. It's just that reminder that there was winter and something new's coming, and kind of a reminder of how deep and dark and cool it is in those parts of the woods. A great pleasure, and a great pleasure that this preserved land for us to walk on.
Great. Benjamin? So I have a rant and a rave.
Uh-oh.
The rant came from my wife
Ooh.
when I announced I'm going to rerun for Selectmen. So, and the rave came from one or two other people. So, be something in the paper coming up. That's it. I don't know if that falls under rant or rave, but it,
Is it like a little tease?
I'm running it.
Beautiful.
All right, there being no other business before us, I'll make a motion that we close the Board of Selectmen meeting of March 10th, 2025.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.